Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jacob LaPlante from The Latest Tech. In this video, I have a review for you of the brand new iPod Touch 5th generation. Now, in the box, what we get is normally what you get in the box. You get the hello manual, warranty information, and Apple stickers, and then you get the new lightning cable, the earpods, and the new iPod Touch loop. Now, looking onto the device itself, comparing it with the other devices that it was released with, they all happen to have the lightning cord. Now, this lightning cord is actually very amazing. You wouldn't think much of it, and a lot of people don't like it at all, but it is 80% smaller than the previous 30-pin, and it definitely plays a difference when using the device. Now, the screen sizes, comparing it with the iPhone 5, is exactly the same. It's that Retina display, and if you look at the thickness, it's just amazing. Thinking about the iPhone 5 and how thin it is, and then comparing it with the iPod Touch 5th generation, it's just amazing to see the comparison between the two. Now, let's do a speed test. What I did was turn on the first generation model, and as you can see, with the A5 chip in hand, the same processor that's in the iPhone 4S gives us a very quick boot time. Now, I did skip forward, so it's going to be hard to tell, but it definitely does give us a very fast boot time. Now, the next thing I'd like to do is actually a Geekbench test, and as you can see on the screen, the differences between the processors, and what actually happened was the iPhone 5 gave us a score of 1643, with the iPod Touch gave us a score of 625, but that's still definitely a jump up from the last generation iPod Touch. Now let's look onto the cameras. Comparing the two, what we have is on the iPhone 5 an 8 megapixel camera, and on the iPod Touch 5th generation a 5 megapixel camera. Just for reference, the camera on the iPod Touch 5 is the same camera on the iPhone 4. Now, that being said, it does have the ability to shoot 1080p HD video, which again, comparing it with the iPhone 5, is definitely a huge bump up. Now, one drawback is, of course, the camera itself. It kind of bumps out from the back of the device. Now, one thing that they did add to this device that I kind of thought was handy was the brand new iPod Touch loop. It allows you to kind of have a strap with your device, and all you have to do is really press the button in, and the button will pop out, and then you take this polyurethane strap that's kind of like a Wiimote strap, and it's made by the same material as an iPad smart cover. You kind of just wrap it around it, and you can use it for children's play. You can use it, you can bump it around, and pretty much it won't fall off. I tested it. So that's the new iPod Touch loop. Again, it's not that great, but it's kind of useful. Now let's get on to the iPod Touch itself a little more closely. Now, what we get with the device is actually a very neat design. It has the brand new Slate back that was released with the iPhone 5, and what's amazing about it is it actually allows for the manufacturers to cut down a little bit on the weight, and that's definitely something that you can tell. Just looking at it, you can tell that it's definitely a huge bump up from the last generation, and it's definitely a work of art from Apple. Now, I do have to say that the new Slate back on the iPod Touch 5th generation does attract fingerprints a little bit, but it definitely doesn't attract fingerprints the way it does with the previous generation iPod Touch. Now, before I get on to more pictures with my iPhone 5, I do have to say that I have a screen protector on it, and my case kind of scratched it up a little bit, so it's not my phone that's a little bit beat up, it's just my screen protector. So again, you can compare it with the iPhone 5, it's pretty much the same back. So as far as colors go, you can get this in, of course, the Slate model. You can also get it in pink-ish orange. You can get it in blue, you can get it in yellow, and you can get silver. That being said, the Slate model is the only one with the black bezel. Now that we've gotten the rear-facing camera test out of the way, I do want to talk about the front-facing camera. It supports the same front-facing camera that's in the iPhone 5, and it's a huge bump up from previous generations. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the Bluetooth bar on the back. It's not really noticeable on the Slate model, but it is on the other colors. It's Bluetooth 4.0, and it just has to be there for the device pretty much to work with Bluetooth. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to check out The Latest Tech on Facebook at facebook.com/thelatesttech. I'm Jacob LaPlante from The Latest Tech. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.